Who was the roundest knight at Sir Arthur's table? It was circumference, because he ate too much pie. Ha, get it? Get it? It's March 14th, 3/14, Pi Day, 2024. Whatever, I don't care. Pi is just a fake holiday created by math companies to sell more math anyway. Let's get into today's news. So it's official. Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto. If you guys been following this, I don't really want to go into it, but there's this fraudster that said he was Satoshi, tried to convince everybody he's Satoshi, hard forked Bitcoin into BSV, and then just trolled everybody for years. Well, the court finally decided, and this is a tweet from Paul Guerrero of Coinbase, and he said Mr. Wright is not Satoshi. The court has ruled definitively that he's not Satoshi. We are grateful that the rule of law has prevailed again, and I am so happy this is over. Look, we knew it was a fraud at the beginning. Satoshi has around 1 million Bitcoin in his wallet, or the original wallet that we think is Satoshi's. Do you have the private keys? Go in there and move a Satoshi. One Satoshi. We'll be like, oh, wow, that's proof. Or any kind of communication. Or any kind of proof that you were building this. There's nothing. There was nothing, and it was a fraud from the beginning. But apparently, he wanted to waste everybody's time and go through court. Speaking of hard forks, the Dencun hard fork, the upgrade to Ethereum, was successfully deployed yesterday, March 13th. The Ethereum Dencun upgrade is poised to mark a pivotal moment in Layer 2 scaling solutions. It will reduce transaction fees across the 2-layer networks and bolster Ethereum's scalability overall. This hard fork, this upgrade, composes of 9 Ethereum improvement proposals, or EIPs. The Dencun hard fork merges elements from 2 significant upgrades: Cancun, which targets transaction management and processing and the execution layer, and Deneb, focusing on enhancing the consensus layer. Together, these enhancements aim to streamline transactions, handling, and consensus mechanisms. Thereby advancing Ethereum's functionality and scalability. And with this functionality and scalability, the first thing everybody's going to do is upload the script to Jerry Seinfeld's B movie. Yes, that's what you do when transactions fees get low. They upload the B movie script to Ethereum using these new blobs feature that is designed for Layer 2 networks. It provides a cheap and temporary way to store data for lower fees for Layer 2 networks like Optimism and Base Blockchain. The transaction only costs $14 to upload this transcript or the script of B movie, but then they did it again and it only costs $5. Happy to see everything's working for everybody. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority, or the HKMA, I think you probably could have figured that acronym out for yourself, but it's kicked off the second phase of the central bank digital currency. Guess what that one is? CBDC. The second phase of their pilot, the EHKD. Guess what that one is? The E electronic Hong Kong dollar. I'm having fun with this morning. Where am I going? I'm just having too much fun. I lost my train of thought. Went off the tracks there for a minute. The central bank will continue testing from the first phase and explore new applications of the digital version of the Hong Kong dollar. The HKMA completed phase 1 of the pilot program, which tested using the CBDC in domestic retail payments, offline payments, and settlement of tokenized assets. The next phase, they say, will delve deeper into select pilots from phase 1, where an EHKD could add unique value, namely programmability, tokenization, and atomic settlements, as well as explore new use cases that not have been covered in previous phases. There are 100 places around the world looking at CBDCs, and it looks like they're not stopping. I mean, to be honest with you, and even though I don't want a CBDC, I mean, do you blame them? It's just better money. It's just better. Programmable money, instant payments, instant settlements on a blockchain. It's just better. We all know it's better. So I can't blame them. This is a surprisingly slow news day, so I'm going to take the time to tell you about our new Substack. I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to our new Substack. We're going to be doing interviews, 101s with different coins. We're going to do weekly roundups. I might just put in different blog posts and rants and all kinds of different things within the Substack behind a subscription. But if you are the first 10 people to do so, and I think I might have already got 7 subscribers, if you're the first 10, you'll never have to pay a dime. So subscribe to Substack, and all that content will be behind the paywall eventually. We're working on it. We're going to have to, get new systems in place, get new habits in place to make new shows and put more content there because we want to monetize. And if we do start putting ads in our podcast, which inevitably we'll have to, I've been doing this podcast, for free for, how long have I been doing this now? Has it been over a year after Decrypt? Anyway, yeah, I think so. I think it's been a year already. Anyway, eventually I'm going to have to start monetizing. And I know how many people hate ads. So the ad-free podcast will be behind the subscription wall on Substack eventually. So anyway, just go over there, follow us, engage, and you'll see new content being added. And when we have good content and we're confident that we're providing value, it will be subscriber based. Just FYI. So get there quick. And if you want to email with any questions, comments, suggestions, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Continuing with the news. El Salvador recently passed a new law that eliminates income taxes on foreign money coming into the country. This change follows the recent initiative that allows Bitcoin investors to purchase a visa and eventually become eligible for citizenship of El Salvador. This passed with 69 votes in favor, and they're going to inform the tax law so that families with remittance or any capital from abroad can be introduced into the country free of payment of taxes, regardless of the amount. There's an early initiative as well in El Salvador that's removed taxes related to technological innovation, including income, property, capital gains, and import duty taxes for about 15 years if you're investing in certain forms of tech in El Salvador. And so basically, if you are getting crypto rich, you can take your money and move to El Salvador if you want to. I will say there is a caveat here. You need to have a track record at El Salvador. Yes, I know crime went down bigly. Yeah, we're going to gloss over the due process aspect of that whole crime crackdown for now. But it was pretty bad there for a while. So it's a big risk. I think it's even riskier than investing in some new meme dog coin with a fuzzy hat or something. It's like, yeah, crime's down, but will it be down in the next 10 years after you just moved to El Salvador and took all your money there? I don't know. So I think this is risky. However, it is a way to go into El Salvador. So I think if you had multiple residences, one in, say the States, one in the EU somewhere, and you wanted to also be in El Salvador and take some of your crypto gains and move them over there, that could be an option. But if anyone moves and renounces citizenship and moves to El Salvador, I think that's a little bit hasty. What do you think? Let's not get too hasty in anything, and let's talk about crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:34 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I figured that out finally. Fear of greed is at 91, extremely greedy, and Bitcoin sitting at $72,085, down 0.7% in 24, up 7.2 in 7 though. And there's been an article that was published by Decrypt. How high could Bitcoin's price go? And they started looking at these researchers and analysts, and well, CryptoQuant told Decrypt that the top of the cycle valuation is going to be around $170. That's their prediction. Analyst Guanam Chungani said $150,000 by 2025. The head of research at 10x Research said that Bitcoin could hit $125,000. Could hit $125,000. The chief commercial officer at Saxet said it's going to be anywhere between $120,000 and $180,000 before the end of the year. The end of the year, he said, by the way. And there are some predictions that are just too bullish, they said. All of them are saying that $350,000 is way too bullish. You want to know my prediction? Here's my prediction. My prediction is that first, before we have any predictions, make sure that you understand where your sell point is. And again, you don't have to sell if it hits that, but at least put a stop loss, right? Or a trailing stop loss, meaning that if it goes up to $80,000, and you say $80,000 is my sell point, and you see it pop to 81, at least put one at $80,500, a stop loss on it. So if it goes below that, at least you're not dipping back down into, where you didn't want to sell, right? Or a trailing stop loss, which Kraken has. It's a brilliant feature. You just set it for something like, trailing 5%, and then it will just move up with the price. So for example, if Bitcoin is $80,000 and you put a trailing stop loss at $80,000 of 5%, it will move up. As the price moves up, your sell price will move up with it at a 5% spread. So if, say, you go from $80,000 to $90,000, but then it goes back down to, say, tries to go down to $80,000, it would sell 5% from $90,000, if you know what I'm saying. So it would sell, I don't know what it would be, 85,000. And so when it goes down to 80, you still lock in at least a lot of those profits. Long story short is, do that. Do not try to get to the top, because if it goes to the top, it goes to the top. That's not financial advice. That's just what I'm saying. Okay, so figure that out for yourself. My predictions are this. Every time, every bull I have made predictions, I was always low. Always low. $100,000 Bitcoin, I think, is way low. 120, I think, is way low. 180, I think, is about right. But even though I feel comfortable saying 180 might be the cycle top, again, we don't know what's happening with the ETF. We do not know what's going to happen with this election year. We don't know if these financial institutions are just going to start aping more into Bitcoin. And we really don't know what the volume is really doing to Bitcoin and how that's going to explode the price after the halving. And so there's a lot of unforeseen things. All I can say is the past two tops, I tried to call it, and I was always low. And so $350,000 Bitcoin could be a possibility. But I've seen people call for way higher, way higher. Let's continue. Ethereum is at $3,900, down 2%. Tether's number 3. Binance is just on a tear. It's at $601, up 2.2% in 24, or like 35% in 7. That's just insane, by the way. Insane. Solana is also just on a tear. It's up 10.8%. It's at 168. Again, a tear. Running off the top 10, we have XRP, USDC, Cardano. Dogecoin is on a tear too. It's up 8% because Elon's talking about Doge, and Avalanche moved back into the top 10 spot at 54.55, up 2.8%. The total market cap is sitting at $2.72 trillion, down 0.5%. Bitcoin dominance at 52 and an ETH dominance of 17.2. And that was our show today. I will get more into my predictions maybe tomorrow. I'm not too sure. Or maybe I'll save that for something on Substack. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.